Here's Johnny. Thank you. Well, hello there. Hey, hi, social media family. Being of any subscribers and our visitors alike affiliated or associated with and are representing my own YouTube social media channel and or likewise chat room or comment section. Yeah, keep coming back. You know, well, only if you were to grow up. Whoever keeps popping in and popping out just as quick, and it could possibly be some of any and every crazy crackpot nutcase or crank. I hate it when certain persons do that, Yeah, certain persons coming off like characters, and it could possibly be one of my present as well as past neighbors from damn hell spying on me. Sorry about that, you all. Anyway, though, and yes, I say, and I noticed that lately I haven't been getting much of any participants in my chat room or comment section. Or either I have to broadcast much earlier, whereas I was intended to, but something comes up and I have to take care of other business matters for my own personal survival. Yeah. Or either, well, hopefully that is not the case of the situation where it's, more of my viewers in times past, viewers and listeners were nothing but a bunch of, crazies, crackpots, nutcases of cranks, internet troll characters in their own right. I just remember how most recently, and sorry about the physical gesture of a compulsive disorder, but anyway, getting back to what I was trying to say, let's backtrack here to continue when my person had last left off to finish up a former line of thought. And whereas I just remember how most recently somebody had pulled out as an unsubscribed, to my channel. And if you're not going to be committed to it, or loyal to that of my own social media, that being the same or the said in question in the former mentioned, then please do not please do not, I'm sorry, it's a rather late hour. Please do not subscribe to it being of some such as what I meant to say. Subscribe. I'm sorry. It's past my bedtime now. It's about close to an hour after I had the 11 o'clock p.m. hour for myself. Try to get my Z's, my beauty rest, and sleep. Some such sleep, regardless of any proverbial neighbors from damn hell characters among my present public nuisance. The problem neighbors being a worse or the worstest ones yet, and for a worse or for one of the worstest incendiary neighborhood communities within some of such city limits, especially the main one being of a local crazy crackpot, nutcase, or crank, not to mention creep of a drug pushing neighbor from damn hell, of a blackmail individual person of a character who continues to assume that he himself has a legit personal vendetta or grudge match with me, and I have never done anything to him. And he himself is continuing to attempt to harass, intimidate, persecute, or bully me upon a daily or nightly basis, in one regard or another, in more ways than one. And so much for that conversation. Moving right along, Then how are you all doing, my social media family? Being of any subscribers and visitors alike, affiliated or associated with and are representing my own YouTube social media channel, and or likewise chat room comment section, in which you all could possibly become or be a participant of at any given moment in time. Well, hopefully everyone is doing at least okay, if not better yet to be said, all right. If not, best of all, to be said on a state for the record, where you all could claim to, like say, or how you say, Be feeling blessed and stressed, more blessed and stressed, or too blessed to possibly become or be stressed. You and yours, family and friends, hopefully me and mine, likewise as well, all the same. Anyway, though, now that I got the preliminaries out the way, being the basic intro as an introduction and all footnotes for that matter, as well as having give you all the salutation of reading and asking question and due regard in reference to your welfare. And whereas the president's social media broadcast of video content, is supposed to be about, the likes of certain Palestinians, who are shouting this crazy nonsense of from the river to the sea, and to compliment that civil and human rights violation offense of October the 7th, of criminal acts or hate crimes, whereas, white Jewish Israeli woman and children of girls and boys were, sexually assaulted or raped, molested, and beheaded after being beaten, and kidnapped by the Islamic-moslem terrorists, crazies, and or faggoty cocksuckers of cowards, who would use these same Palestinians as shields of cannon fodder, to promote their insane cause, like the cowardly, faggoty bullies that they are, There was something else I was about to say, if I can remember. Sorry about that. But the devil was busy. I wondered if these president neighbors from the hell they won't be them drug pushers manipulating the ventilation system. Anyway, getting back to what I was trying to say, if I can remember. Something about I know I was saying about in due regard in reference to these cowardly Islamic Muslim terrorist male characters, whereas these Palestinians, certain ones, not all of them, are talking this craziness about from the river to the sea in reference to my white Jewish brethren or the Israelis, and all the while knowing that is I myself, as well as anybody else who still possess half their marbles, that those Islamic Muslim terrorists don't care about them, I mean, they would sooner use them as bulletproof vests, and then escape with their lives and leave these here Palestinian puppets, robots, or zombies laid out, stretched out on the ground, bleeding to death, dying, and then they be looking, forward to the next human body shields for them to be made use of, And then you have an American politician mouthing off the same crazy nonsense, and then some such, American or U.S. professors, American or U.S. college and university professors mouthing off the same crap, I mean, this is the world we're living in at the moment, where bad is good and a lie is more accepted than the truth. You hear what I'm saying? And a criminal act of hate being of a legal nature is more applauded than criticized or ridiculed. You hear what I'm saying? I mean, whereas more criminals are being congratulated for violating the civil and human rights of another individual, of other people. I mean, that is just insane or crazy. Like to be compared on to the urban legend horror stories about Venezuelans being the main Hispanics who are coming across the border into our country or nation as we have it, of the supposed so-called Democratic Republic of Democracy of the USA, like some kind of a Trojan horse, all the same as these Islamic-moslem terrorists. So are the Mexican drug cartel lords coming through here, blending in with the rest of the immigrants, into our supposed so-called, that is blending with the immigrants to travel into our supposed so-called Democratic Republic or democracy. It says supposed so-called Democratic Republic democracy. In due regard in reference to how, it's like the dirty cops have been given a green light or golden ticket to continue to shoot black and brown brothers in the back, and speaking upon those matters, and to misrepresent their more law-abiding American police officers and detectives. That's just crazy, or insane in its own right. But getting back to the original subject matter or topic of discussion, to be debated or given an argument with many different views and opinions to be affiliated or associated with and representing thereof, and disregard, ignore any, possible and potential disturbances, disruptions, or interruptions to the present social media broadcast video content, where I have little, if any, control over what goes on or happens outside my apartment door, just as long as what's on the opposite side of it stays out that way. And I do believe in calling the police and exercise my rights and privileges to self-defense, especially when it comes to this main neighbor from down hell being of a local drug pusher, of a poop button pissant, of a crazy crackpot, nutcase, crank, not to mention creep, of a black male individual person of a character with his cowardly, creepy, faggoty, drug pushing, black neighbor from down hell, self, I want to say SOB, bastard, self, but I'm trying to curb my language, trying to be kosher about it. Whereas he continues to assume that he has a legit personal vendetta grudge match with me. Because he's kind of crazy, not to mention creepy. More creepy than stupid and crazy. I'm saying, all I can do is pray for all these crackpots in the world nowadays. Come out the woodwork that much more. And of whatever races and whatever walks of life, and to compliment that being my last social media broadcast of video content before this one, was I was speaking upon how this one, black or Hispanic, non-white woman had pounded the back of the skull of a Caucasian woman into a city or suburban sidewalk, and made her to become or be like some kind of paraplegic or vegetable, if I'm not mistaken, whereas she has incurred some of such severe or serious brain damage, regardless of whether or not she went into a coma and possibly come out of it. I don't know, or maybe she's still in the coma. I didn't keep up with the news lately so far as that one urban legend horror story, so I have to go and check back with it, and whether or not I do a second segment on that particular one, it all depends. But I don't know how I feel or what time I have, or if I could either find time or make time, for another segment to be broadcasted in that same line of thought. But then I think that the first one should cover it regardless, but you all will get the general idea. Just check it out sometime. Getting back to this particular one. So we have these crazies of Palestinians. Not that all Palestinians are of the likes of crackpots, nutcases, cranks. And they're like talking all this crazy nonsense of from the river to the sea, we shall drive them to we shall drive them from the river to the sea. I mean, I'm like, that's insane, Get you a life, I mean, that's the same kind of crap that was being mouthed off, if you look at it from one point of view, if not another, in a similar sort of way, when the Nazis and the commies came to power for different countries or foreign nations overseas, and they had come to power more or mainly by means of brute force. Then when they got into the seats of political power and took control of the police and the military, etcetera, they also ruled with brute force and ruled out any signs of democracy, ruled out individual thought, and just cut off. I'm saying they just cut off and cut out any kind of civil and human rights altogether, and any political agitators that were opposed to their political views and opinions were severely reprimanded, as in extremely and or violently physically assaulted in one regard or another. And it's like, a powder keg is brewing right here in the USA, the United States of America. I mean, with all these foreign immigrants coming through here like a Trojan horse, and most of them have gotten into the USA illegally, not going through the proper policies and procedures or protocol to enter within our own country and nation that is supposedly a democratic republic of democracy. Well, it's more of a democracy than some countries and nations I know. And then when we permit, American or U.S. college and university professors to mouth off all this same crazy nonsense of from the river to the sea, we shall drive them from the river to the sea, I'm like, that is the same kind of political agitation that had put Adolf Hitler and Joseph Stalin in the power. I mean, there's only so much free speech that could be gone about, recognized. I mean, if it incites violence, then whoever is, like, mouthing off like so, that could cause another person to lose one's life because you're coming off like encouraging, physical violence in the extreme, then you are the one that should be punished by the courts, by the courts only after being arrested by the police or detectives. And though you could be getting your day in court, but you should go to jail for that, and not just for a short time frame period, but you should do a long stint in the can with little or no possibility of parole, especially if the violence that could be instigated and take fruit, be transformed from mental thoughts into physical actions against another individual person, against other people, could prove to become at a cost of lives being lost, then you coming off like a terrorist in your own right. You hear what I'm saying? If you are permitting yourself to be used by handlers of Islamic-Moslem terrorists. The average one of them, when it comes to representing manhood of these male characters of Islamic-Moslem terrorists, then they ain't got a pot to piss in or pan to throw it out of, They represent less manhood than a much more familiar faggot cocksucker. I mean, I can only imagine, like the average one of these male characters of Islamic-Moslem terrorists behind closed and locked doors, just sucking and riding some big, stinking, monstrous looking cocks. Just sucking other males' cocks, as well as riding other males' cocks or roosters. Licking other male balls, I can only imagine. And for somebody to permit themselves to be used by these cowards, these faggoty cowards representing less manhood than the average faggot otherwise, either you yourself is incredibly smart or you're incredibly stupid. You hear what I'm saying? I mean, if you're looking forward to establishing yourself to become the next Adolf Hitler or Joseph Stalin, now that would seem more rational, but still illogical in its own right. But then, if you worse yet, just got your damn head up your ass and not thinking, got your head where the dookie come out of your dookie hole, and you might well just rush in front of the police and permit yourself to be shot 90 something times, maybe 100 times, because you're on a suicide mission. Keep chanting this crap from the river to the sea. You have lost your damn mind. I want to say you have lost your goddamn mind, but I'm trying to be kosher about it. And I'm trying to get right with God and be using his name in vain. You lost your god dogged mind. Might well be someone like some of my president neighbors from damn hell, especially the main one being of a drug pusher. A nigger SOB bastard with his Rudy Pooty, creepy, cowardly, faggoty self. It's like lately, anytime I get on an electronic device, he wants to make his presence known, with his real life bam rose routine after creeping for a long and then creep after that if I don't respond to him the way he would want me to. Same one, assuming he got a legit personal vendetta, legit grudge match with me, and I never done anything to his insane and membrane ass. He's a creepy ass. I'm sorry, because I swear like a drunken sailor. But we trying to get right with God. But anyway, getting back to the original subject matter, I'm about to close out. Anyway, I mean, if you as a Palestinian supporter of Islamic-Moslem terrorists, if you want to be used as cannon fodder, because they're not going to help you. Trust me on this. If you come across some police or detectives for inciting a riot and you get shot, or you be bleeding on a city or suburban sidewalk, you think those Islamic Muslim terrorists going to come forth, grow some balls, and come forth and say, no, leave him or her alone. I'm the one responsible for the latest chaos or mayhem. Take me into custody. Apprehend, arrest me. I don't think so. Not in a million years, If one were to come forth to do that, then it would be like you have won $1 million. It's not likely to happen. Not in this world. I don't know about anybody else, but I live in reality. Not the Twilight Zone. You know, if you play with fire, you get burned. Put your hand on the hot. You put your hand on the eye of a hot stove. See if you don't get burned with the fiery flames blazing. You grab a hot pot on the stove without using gloves, you're gonna get burned. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, though, any of you Palestinians, what I meant to say, of Islamic-Moslem terrorist supporters, whenever you get to shouting that crazy nonsense from the river to the sea, I want you to picture this in your mind, and maybe it serve as a wake-up call. Picture yourself bleeding on the sidewalk, from resisting arrest coming from the police because you inciting a riot, Picture yourself with a number of bullet holes in you, because you wouldn't go into the back of a police squad car or the back of a police paddy wagon peacefully, but you would rather risk your life shouting some crazy ass shit, or let me rephrase, crazy ass BS, some crazy ass nonsense from the river to the sea. Picture yourself becoming the cousin of a block of Swiss cheese with so many holes in it. Because that is what's going to happen to any of the likes of you eventually, and you be in a hospital emergency ward if at all you get there, because you could bleed out before you get to a hospital. But if you're in the hospital, you could have tubes all through your nose and your mouth, and become a paraplegic, or be put in a coma, or have a coma-induced condition put upon you to sustain your vital organs, etc. And then let's see how much you shout then while you're in a hospital bed, or worse yet, while you bleeding on a city sidewalk, suburban sidewalk. Let's see you shout then, from the river to the sea. You have to ask yourself, was it worth it? Mouthing off so much hate, and whereas the devil and his demons are ready to claim your immortal human soul to take you to damn hell, because you weren't trying to think to be about the love, but you was being about all this hate, this evilness of hate, shouting from the river to the sea. And check out, certain paramedics, they're not going to treat you. Certain paramedics, because not all of them will be willing to just, be neutral and just treat you regardless. Certain paramedics, they're not going to treat you, They're going to look at you. You're an Islamic-Moslem terrorist supporter. So you need to die like the Islamic-Moslem terrorists that you support, who are out here killing all over the world. So bleed out. You think about that. You think about that, any of you Islamic-Moslem terrorist supporters, any of you Palestinians of the Islamic-Moslem terrorist supporters. If you don't think about anything else, think about that last that I mentioned. If some paramedics and ambulance show up and then they recognize you as an Islamic-Moslem terrorist supporter of a Palestinian, you could bleed out, then be taken to a hospital. Think about that next time you shout from the river to the sea. And that's all I have to say on that. And in closing, I want to, share with you all the gospel message of our Lord and Savior Christ by saying, if you haven't gotten Christ as your personal Lord and Savior, I hope that you would think of it with mind's intentions to do so now, by recognizing or realizing what he himself had done or did upon the cross of Calvary Hill of Golgotha, suffering at the hands of Roman soldiers upon the orders of their superiors, religious, political, militaristic, etc. Whereas he died on that cross of Calvary, shedding his blood, permitting himself to fulfill biblical prophecy to do so that you or anybody else who profess faith in him, you as well as me, don't steal my trademark physical gesture. I'm going to have copyright it sometime unless I want to risk it being plagiarized. So if any of us, regardless of race, walk of life, faction of society, or lifestyle preference, Gender, age, and etc. Gender, there's only two, male and female. Age, and etc. represent not only the human species, the global community within this post-911 era of this so-called post-global pandemic, this apocalyptic day and age, ICBM missiles, literally prophetic time, where profess some faith in. From there, we become blessed one regard another. Have that only fire insurance against the lake of fire down here, and be blessed while we're down here upon the planet Earth. Don't have to worry about ending up in hell with the rest of the lost down human souls, unbelievers and unbelievers. You all take care and be blessed. We out. Peace.